Global agendas at stake. Sustainability through coherence. People all around the world are exposed to massive risks with increasing frequency and intensity. In 2018, we witnessed earthquakes in Indonesia, a volcanic eruption in Guatemala, and flooding in Nigeria and India. And most recently, a cyclone hit Mozambique. Thousands of people lost their lives to disasters, and hundreds of thousands more were injured and/or displaced. In the aftermath, many people are cut off from basic infrastructure and services. These extreme events, but also slow onset impacts such as sea level rise or soil degradation, are threatening development efforts, undermining resilience, and exacerbating inequality. There is an urgent need for action. International agreements like the Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development, the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction, the Paris Agreement on Climate Change, and the New Urban Agenda are important achievements for humanity. They reflect a global common will to reduce vulnerability and increase resilience for a sustainable future for everyone. However, taken individually, none of these frameworks engage with a full range of possible risks that countries are facing. In order to deliver change at the scale and pace required by 2030, the frameworks cannot be implemented in isolation. Coherence, meaning integrated thinking and actions across all levels and sectors of government, is therefore a prerequisite to achieving a sustainable and resilient future. The global frameworks translate into different commitments at national and local level. This adversely affects policies, strategies and instruments which guide development planning, public investment and data governance. For example, when development plans neglect disaster and climate risks or economic and social needs, inadequate actions are the consequence. Hence, we need coherence to reduce spending, safeguard development and save lives. Since there are no blueprints for aligning practices of different actors, the Global Initiative on Disaster Risk Management was mandated by Germany's Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development to support partner countries in achieving practical coherence from the bottom up. Through the support, good practices are identified at local and national levels and promoted internationally. What could such practices look like? In the Philippines, local government units develop and implement various plans, for instance on civil protection or on climate change adaptation. These plans use climate and disaster risk assessments to ensure potential risks were considered. Now the government is harmonizing the tools of these assessments to prevent duplication of data collection and analysis. In addition, the government units are combining their disaster risk reduction and their climate change adaptation plans into one resiliency strategy for more synergy and financing options. In Mexico, the Ministry of Finance and Public Credit considers disaster risk and climate change critical to designing and assessing infrastructure. Therefore, the ministry is developing methods for their systematic integration in investment projects. This saves taxpayers' money and enhances Mexico's resilience. In conclusion, there is not one universal approach for achieving coherence in planning, implementing and reporting of and to the global agendas. However, these good practices demonstrate that coherence is not only possible, but also brings us closer to the ultimate goal of increased resilience, especially for the most vulnerable among us. With more coherence, we can reduce spending, safeguard development, and save lives.